Today, we are going to talk about how to win back your time and make more money by working less. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Johanna Moore. I am a Harvard-trained physician. I'm a life coach. I'm a serial business owner, and I'm the mom of twins. I keep making more money every time I stop working so hard and I start filling my time with what I actually want to do. And that sounds pretty self-explanatory, but it blows my mind every time. And so I want to share with you how you can do this as well. First, we're going to talk about why taking on more is like punching yourself in the face. And what you really need to do instead of taking on more is to do less. Let's talk about my journey. I had to fail big time to finally separate what really makes me happy from what I thought was success. And that's when I really started dedicating everything I've got to living a life I love instead of slaving for someday when I finally reach that life I love when I retire. Let's take you back a few years to when I began my entrepreneurial journey. In 2016, I thought that to increase my income and to be indispensable for my team, I needed to be perceived as the smartest, hardest working person in the world. And so it wasn't only that I felt like I had to be that smart person, it was that I had to not only be it, but also get everybody else to believe that I was that person as well. And I eventually realized that the employment position I was in was not going to work because I thought that I was going to become a partner someday. And I realized around that time that I was never really going to become a partner with the current owner. And I didn't have a clear understanding of where my place would be in that company. So I left that company and I started my first company, which is a medical corporation, Dr. Johanna B. Moore. And I started doing pathology in my own, as an independent contractor in my own company. But the funny thing is my mentality didn't really change when I started my medical corporation. I didn't just wake up one day and say, oh, I'm an entrepreneur. I understand all about business and can manage my mind and my money and all that stuff. So I made sure that I was everywhere. I was still doing the same thing. Like I have to be omnipotent. I have to be the smartest person in the room. I have to know what I'm doing. And I took on 4 directorship roles during that period of time. I was speaking at regional conferences in pathology. I was giving all the resident lectures, no matter what the topic was. There were no other pathologists in the area who were giving any lectures. And anytime that any email came in or any text came in or any request came in, I was the person who always said yes. And I felt like I was the one, like I had come into this role of I'm the leader and I'm responsible for everything. And no matter what comes my way, I can field that. And to an extent, I think that made me feel really proud, but it also made me feel really exhausted and a lot of times overwhelmed. And I didn't think that I could earn money doing anything else except pathology because I left this job and it was like the womb of where I just sat at my desk and I got all my slides and they were exactly in my zone of genius. And I didn't have to worry about all the business stuff that happens when you go on your own. And so when I left that big book of business of DermPath clients, I had to start doing other things in order to earn money. And I didn't know how to do that. So the only way that I could think about earning more money was by doing other things in my specialty in pathology and medicine that maybe weren't in my zone of genius, but were close enough. I'd been trained. And so I expanded into laboratory medicine, and that's where I took over the directorships. And I started working with blood bank and transfusion medicine and chemistry and all of the lab through the hospital I was in charge of. And I had trained that in that category of medicine, but it really wasn't what I ever thought I was going to do when I grew up. And the other way that I thought I could potentially be valuable would be to become a leader and an administrator and an educator. And so I took on all of these roles, started going to all the meetings and thinking that that would make me indispensable in another way. But that decision only brought me so much more work, so many more hours of the day working, so much less confidence in myself because it wasn't really in my specific zone of genius. It was in the general category of my education, my background education. And the crazy thing is, it brought in less money. And that was really devastating for me because I thought that by taking on these extra roles that it would boost my salary, but actually it just folded in to what my salary already was. So I was working harder and I was earning like the same or less. And then in 2022, I stepped down from basically all my roles. The reason why is because I realized that I was completely burned out. And sadly, my boss also realized that I was completely burned out. I was making a lot of mistakes. My quality had gone way down and I was crying all the time. So thankfully, because I couldn't do it myself, my boss and I together came up with a plan for me to step down from a ton of things. And what we decided was that even though I didn't have enough of a book of business in dermatopathology in my subspecialty, I was going to take everything away and just do my subspecialty. And initially, my boss's reservation about that was, I won't be able to pay you your full salary. And honestly, at that point, I was so close to walking away completely from medicine, like just like jumping off the cliff, that I was like, I don't even care about that. Like, I don't expect a bonus. You can put me part-time, like whatever makes sense for me to just do derm path. So I stepped down from all my successful leadership roles. I let go of all my hospital positions. I stopped giving lectures. That was really hard because the woman who runs the lectures is a friend of mine. So she would ask me and I would have to say no to her. And that was so hard. And then I stopped going to all the meetings. I just cut one after the other and delegated to other colleagues. I moved into this tiny office that had nothing on the walls and it was really cold. I had to ask for a space heater and I started pausing and I stopped saying yes immediately. And I started giving other people a chance to do their jobs instead of me just taking them over. I started saying no all the time and focusing on one thing that was right just for me. And admitting that I'd taken on these responsibilities and that I didn't feel passionate about them and that they weren't in my zone of genius was really embarrassing. And it was really humbling to say, yeah, like I maybe shouldn't have been doing those things. And it was easy to feel like that decision to cut back was a failure and that by proxy, so was I. And I think that's one of the reasons why it took me so long to put my foot down and do it, and why I needed the help of my boss to reevaluate where things were going. The thought that I was less helpful and important to the company also raised so much fear about my worth and about the security of my position and my income. And so it was really very eye-opening and very humbling and a big rebuilding time for me. But then after about 6 months, something really weird happened. Even though I was working like half of the time and effort that I was working before, I got a bonus. My boss called me and he's like, "Oh, by the way, you got a bonus." And I was so shocked because how could it possibly be that 1 month I earned my normal salary and I'm working almost half the amount of time and effort that I was before. And I'm doing things that like I actually am happy about doing. And then the next month I get this $10,000 bonus for doing like way less and actually being happy in my job. So that was like mind-blowing to me. Like I didn't expect it. I didn't see it coming. All I knew was that I was rebuilding myself and that for the first time in so long, I didn't feel burned out and crazy. And so what I've learned is that this pattern of prioritizing what's essential to your happiness and your zone of genius, and then adding on top of that, the discipline of deleting things, tasks that you don't need to do, delegating tasks that really you shouldn't be doing, and automating systems so nobody has to be doing certain tasks really allows you to earn more money and free up your time at the same time. And the kicker is that when you apply it to your own business or your own investment portfolio, then you get even more exponential results because you have complete control over what's happening. I am a firm believer that you don't have to be the smartest person in the room in order to be worthy. You don't have to take care of everything, be everywhere, and work harder and longer to deserve the money that you want. You can have the life that you love now instead of waiting until you're successful enough, or that you have enough money, or that you're ready to retire. And you don't have to please or depend on anyone else to give you the money that you want when you create it yourself. So the rest of this webinar is for you. If you are a business owner and you're doing it all, but you're still not seeing the income that you desire, and you want to learn how to have more fun, making more money in your business with strategy and systems that allow you to step back profitably. The other person that this is for is an employee or a business partner who is working too hard, trading her time for money, and wanting to learn how to have more fun making money by enforcing boundaries that allow you to do only what's essential, and by exploring what a side gig or an investment diversity plan looks like to you to bolster that employment position. You know there must be a way to actually live a life you love while making the money you want. And you're smart enough and ambitious enough to figure it out. And you're finally ready to get there now. And I want to show you how. So does anybody here want to increase their income while protecting their time and energy that you don't even have right now? You guys feel like that's something you want to learn? Okay. Good, because that's what we're going to talk about. There is more to money making than just trading your time, your energy, and your focus. And it's time that you learned how. And the So Money Society helps its members build these processes that do just that, both in your current job, in your life outside of work, and in a business. And so it's the perfect place to continue to build on business acumen. Now you realize that you don't necessarily have to be trading your time and your energy for money. What I want you to know is that you don't have to be wasting all of your time and energy on earning. It's gotten you this far, but now it's time to move on. I hear that all the time from people like, oh, I'm an earner, like I get a high income for whatever it is that I do. But you shouldn't have to think about yourself being the person that formulates that income. Like you have to earn it. It's just something that you put value out into the world, and then people want to come to you and buy from you. So as high achieving women, we've been told that we're supposed to trade time for money. So why would you ever think that there was any other way except by earning? We become better earners to fit it all in because we also have families to care for. And it will be hard, but it will be worth it because money doesn't grow on trees and you have to work hard for it with blood, sweat, and tears. These are all things that we've heard all of our lives, and we've gotten from generations and generations of people before us who have also believed this. So because of this, because of these thoughts that we're given, we spend our whole lives becoming experts to make our time valuable, right? We spend years going to undergrad, learning, getting different certificates so that we can say that our hourly rate is more than somebody else's. And now we all have this expertise and this skill necessary to be at the top. That's exactly the type of women who come to me, are women who already are experts. They've already spent a whole lot of time figuring out some way that they can be valuable to the society. But yet you get to this point where you're tapped out of time to sell or energy to take care of all that you've worked for. So you don't have any more time to invest. You don't really have that much more education to give yourself because you're already at the top, and you don't have any time at the end of the day to actually enjoy the things that you've already achieved anyway. And I just want to say that I see you doing it all. The women on the call who I know I see you guys. I know what you're doing. If you're here, it means that you woke up this morning and you thought to yourself, I'm sick of having made it to the top to work this hard. And there's no way that this is sustainable and I need help. And so that means that you probably tried all the things. But here you are again, even though you tried all these things, I'm so sick of working this hard at this point and I still need help. Maybe you've spent all your money on babysitters, housekeepers, even somebody to help you cook. Maybe you've read all of the efficiency books, all of the self-help books, even business books. You got all extra credentials. You signed up for all the things on Instagram, and you're drinking a lot of wine, a lot of coffee, and eating a lot of chocolate. And still, here you are, sick of working hard and still needing help. So here are the myths behind spending time for money that we hear all the time. There's the 10,000 hour rule and the 80-hour work week. In medicine, they enforce this rule. Residents can no longer work more than 80 hours. Really? 80 hours in a week? Like what? Why is that the limit? That's so crazy. And then the rule that became famous in the late 90s was the 10,000 hour rule. Like you become a master or an expert after you've done 10,000 hours of something. And the funny thing about that rule is that the study that it came from, one of the studies that it came from was looking at symphony members, and they tallied all the hours that the symphony members had practiced over their lifetimes, and it came up to roughly 10,000 hours. But what they didn't talk about, what people don't talk about from that study, is that in that study, the experts actually spend a lot of time resting during that 10,000 hour period of time. So it's not like a straight grueling 10,000 hours. Another thing that we hear is people depend on you because you're the expert. So you work all this time, and I felt that way. I'm the only one in the hospital who can sign out these cases, so it's my responsibility. And then they tell you, hurry up and wait so you don't waste their time, so you don't waste your client's time, your colleagues' time, your boss's time. And you hear, work hard, play hard for the life you want. Work hard now so you can retire and enjoy that life someday. And we hear it takes time to know it all, and you have an obligation not to let everybody down, and that quality takes time to get it right. And to an extent, these things are true, but also sometimes it might be possible that things just don't have to be that hard. So as a result from all this, you think that you must spend your time, your energy, and your expertise on money. But by buying into this concept, you're creating for yourself a life that you dread, where you don't want to go to work and you don't know how you're going to keep it together once you get home at the end of the day. How many women here have got home from work and just wanted to sit in your car? I literally just want to sit in my car for a moment. And when I get in the house, I want to sit in the bathroom for a moment just to regain my sanity. Like, why is that? That's terrible. And this isn't the reason why you're doing this all in the first place. So you can make more money doing something you love to enjoy the life you worked so hard for. Like, why aren't we doing that? So yes, you need help. And yes, I can actually help you. So how to win back your time, your life by actually working less. You gain back your time, your money, and your life, and actually make money doing what you love for the life that you want to enjoy. Okay, this is my system to start earning more money while taking a breath and a step back to redirect towards what you love. The old way is trading time for money, pushing through a hard day's work with no more time or energy and no way to earn more money, except from your boss, your clients. And that makes you a prisoner of them because you have to please them in order to get the money that you're looking for, which keeps you stuck in exhaustion with a splash of despair. So this is what happens to most expert women. You get to, and you've basically gone from year to year, when maybe in the beginning you see a pretty good increase in your salary, but you don't really get these big cash injections to save you. And eventually it levels out, and here you are an expert and nothing is really happening. And then you're wondering, why am I doing this? Did I make a mistake? Am I not good enough? Why is this so hard? When all you really want is more time and money to do what really matters. So why can't we do this? It's because the plan no longer works. So we need a new plan, one that's fun, one that's simple, and one that at least eventually becomes effortless. So here's the trap to effortless cash flow overview. If you're here, it's because you don't have the time, energy, or desire to work for your income at this pace. Instead of using your time for money, it's time to use your services and your money to make the money for you. And this is done by putting in place systems that produce and sell your product or your services for you. In the so many society, we base a lot of what we learn, all of our goals, on the so money method for success. And what that is, you want to take yourself from being a normal human, working her butt off and trading time for money, and you want to become that badass queen who can create the money she wants while living the life she loves. And the way that we do that is through a simple 3-step process that we apply for everything. First, you need to believe that it's possible, and you need to believe you can do it and that the vehicle you're using works. Once you believe that, then you need to clarify exactly how that vehicle is going to fit into your life, what you need to change with your mindset, and what you need to change with your skill set in order to accomplish that. And then the third thing is to live that life with habits, with meditation, with coaching, in order to get yourself to every day move forward and be really mindful of where you're going and where you want to go. So in light of that, the So Money Business Accelerator allows you to really start applying these systems in a very focused way. The first phase is becoming an expert. Maybe you feel like you already are an expert in something, but are you really 100% clear about what that actually is and what parts of your expertise are actually earning you money? Which things are actually necessary for you to be getting money back? After you are crystal clear about who you are as an expert and what value you're serving with, so what your products are, then it's time to tighter your effort to income ratio. And that's where you start doing things like prioritizing what's really important, deleting things that you don't need to be doing, and really getting down to exactly what needs to be done for that specific thing. That's for your one-on-one time and effort to money ratio. So that's for your linear income. Now, we want to diminish our linear income stream as much as possible, and we want to expand on income streams that allow for residual income. A lot of people talk about exponential income. So like you do the same amount of work and you affect more people. That's important, but that is also linked to your effort. So if you're, instead of teaching one person something, you might teach 10 people something in a class, and you'll earn money that way, but you still have to show up for the class. So that's exponential income. What I'm talking about here is residual income. Residual income is when you use that class, you record it, and you make it into an app where people pay for it even when you're asleep. So that's the key, right? Is the residual income. And whether it's a book that you have written, an ebook, even something tiny, like I see people on Instagram talking about their Etsy accounts where they have like virtual forms, and they're earning like thousands of dollars a month just on these forms that they're selling on Etsy at the lowest like return on investment. So it can be something really small. It can be something really big, like what I'm producing and what I'm growing here at the society. The next phase is automate and delegate. So that's where we start talking about AI. We start talking about how to hire someone and actually make it profitable, things like that. And then the last phase, once you've gone through all of this with one thing, the next phase is to diversify. So in your value ladder, you now have one product. What are other products that you can build on? What are other things related to what your client avatar needs that's going to help them that you can form a new branch of income stream. And on top of that, you need to diversify your monetary investments. So you're investing in your business, but you also, are you investing in stocks? Are you investing in real estate? And what is that money doing in order to build more money without you even having to deal with a business at all? So let's go through this in a little bit more detail. The first one is to become an expert. You want to stop resenting the way that you're trading time for money, and you want to do something about it. And this is key if you are an employee, and it's also key if you actually own a business, is that I don't know if anybody here can commiserate with this, but that's really a big part of what happened to me when I started my first business, was that I was still resenting what I was doing, even though I had so much more control. In fact, I resented it more because all of a sudden I had to worry about where my careers were coming from, where the system was coming from. It was all up to me. So it's so easy to resent where you are because you're trading that time for money. So it's time to just stop beating yourself up, stop punching yourself in the face, and start figuring out how to get out of that. So that's how you choose. And the cool thing about being an expert, now that we're all mature women, is that you don't have to just choose to be an expert in something that you don't even know anything about. We all have a pretty good understanding of what other people in our society do for a living. And we get to decide now. Like, I learned how to play the ukulele. I'm still not very good at it. But if I wanted that to be my money-making machine, then I could become an expert in that if I wanted to. So that's like the beauty of where we are right now, is that a lot of women come to me and they feel like they've wasted so much time, and that everything that they've done in the past has been like a mistake. And I'm here to tell you that it's never a mistake. You're always building and evolving, and you can always make new choices. And all of the things that you've learned in the past always come into play in some way or another. When you tighter your effort to your income, what you're going to do is stop overworking yourself on a linear model, because that's what we've been taught to do. And instead, you learn how to work only on your individual threshold of maximum effectiveness and enjoyment by adding residual income. This is an amazing concept that I didn't really understand until recently. So let's say that I'm a massage therapist. I'm really good at what I do, and I want to book out all my days. So I book out all my days, and I'm working 10-hour days, 5 days a week. And I feel like I still want to earn more money. So I start hiring people, and those people start booking out. But the fact of the matter is, I'm still working 10-hour days, and that's a lot. Like, maybe that's too much. So the beauty of this system is that you get to decide what that full feeling is. Like, for me in medicine, a full feeling is not a 10-hour day anymore. A full feeling, honestly, is like a 4-hour day, maybe even less. And so all the time, I'm always trying to negotiate and figure out how to get towards that goal that makes me feel productive and makes me feel happy for what I'm doing. Because if you're an expert in something, but you're forced to write 20,000 words a day as a copywriter, how can you possibly be happy doing that? And the beauty of that is that everybody is different. Everybody has their own zone of comfort for that. And you have to find it. It's learning how to listen to your body when you're eating. Am I really hungry? Am I really tired? Is this really the amount of work that I want to be doing? And that's something that you just get coached on and journal on and meditate on and figure out. The next phase would be automate and delegate. You have to stop worrying that you just have to be there doing everything to keep the money flowing in. And instead, you establish workflows, systems, and AI to teach others everything else, including your zone of genius. There's so many influencers out there. Like, I remember Jenna Kutcher was talking about how for her blog, she actually has copywriters who write like most of her blog now. She doesn't even write. That was like the thing that made her the most famous, was her blog initially. And there's another group that I'm a part of, Mind Valley, and they're heavily depending on AI now. Like all of their employees are actually encouraged to use AI to cut down on the amount of hours that it takes them in order to produce things. And then the last thing is diversify. Stop allowing your ability and desire to work or someone else's actions affect your salary. And diversification is really common when you talk about brokerage account. That's like maybe the only thing that most of us know about 401ks, right? Is it has to be diversified. This is expanding your understanding of diversification to include your own financial income streams. So you continue to grow and you stabilize your income by investing in more income streams, more offers, and more investments. So that's it. So in summary, you become an expert, you choose the skill that makes linear income. Then you tighter your effort to income ratio. You add a product that starts to make you residual income. And then you automate it, you delegate it, you cut out all the fat, and you start realizing that you don't even have to be doing any of it if you don't want to be. And then you rinse and repeat and you diversify and you start allowing your business, your businesses, if need be, and your money to start making more money for you. Upgrading from a linear time for money model to an exponential value for money model gives you the power to focus on the experiences that you actually want in your life on your terms. How amazing is that? So here are the benefits of this system. We're not going to be sacrificing our sleep and our rest for unfinished work anymore. We're not covering for other people's jobs just to people please. We're not afraid of losing clients or even our job because we understand that there's more clients out there and there's more opportunities for us to make money. There's no lack of control of time or cash flow. Everything is a choice. We're not missing out on all the experiences outside of work. And we're not spending our entire day doing things that we hate. There's no sacrificing your own health and your own happiness for money. You guys, I am running every day in the middle of my day now. I never gave myself that opportunity to actually make time for myself to be healthy. And after all of this happened, I decided that in my day, part of my work day was to take an actual lunch break and go for a run. And it's just been so much better for me. I'm losing weight. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling sexy again after 10 years since I had my kids. And the amazing thing is that when I come back to work for the last half of my day, I actually have clarity of mind because I've allowed myself to get my blood flowing and my cortisol levels up. There's no waking up in dread about your workday. This was like one of the worst parts about me and overwhelm was like waking up and like the first feeling you feel before you even have a chance to open your eyes is like dread. And then not going to bed disappointed in what should have gotten done and what didn't get done because you were focused on things that didn't really matter. Okay, so are you guys ready to go from normal humans to badass queens? Yes? Okay, I'm going to break this out for you a little bit farther. There's this rate of diminishing returns for most successful women. And it starts with getting your perfect job or starting your perfect business and feeling like you finally made it. And you're like, yes, now I'm going to have all the money I dreamed of and I'm going to work less because now I made it. And then you go through a year of that and you're still broke as fuck because you're just starting. And you work your ass off, you're climbing the ladder, you're making your name, you're getting income, you're getting clients. And you think, after I get to the top, then I'm going to have all the money I dreamed of and I'm going to work less. And you're still broke AF. Then you finally make it to the top and you're working even more than ever. And you're thinking, as soon as we make enough revenue, then we'll be able to hire more people. And I'm going to have all the money I dreamed of, and I'm going to work less. And all this time, all you can think about is how bad you want to start your family, how you want to get a dog, how you want to go to Paris for a month. But you can't because you can't stop working. In fact, most of us can't even stop working to go to our kids' soccer game if it starts at 3. And sometimes they do. And so alternatively, you start playing the lotto and crying in your car. And you're thinking to yourself, I want to quit, but I don't know how to do anything except this job. So I'm just going to keep working like a zombie until I retire. And then I'm going to have the money that I dreamed of and work less. And you're still broke because you're using all your money on nannies and sitters and everything else. And come on, let's face it, you know what the next step is. The next step is you retire and you feel miserable from all the things that you missed out on, and you still don't have that much money. Let's face it. This is what the rate of exponential returns looks like in the So Money Society. You get the perfect job or business that you worked for. You focus on what you love about that business, about that expertise that you have. You cut out all that bullshit. And then you start a side gig or a new offer, or you just start a whole new job. And it's doing something else that you love is the key. Don't put on another responsibility just because it's a new business that you don't even like. What's the point of doing that? The whole point of living and making money is that you find something that lights you up, that only you can do, that you're bringing value to other people and you're changing the world. So here you go. On the black is your one-to-one expertise income, whether it's an employment position or in your business. And that is what is going to initially increase, but then it's going to level off. Where you're going to get the most bang for your buck exponentially later is this blue line. That's the new gig or the new offer or something else that you love that you can start to automate and allow it to build on its own. So eventually you'll have both of these additive incomes, and then one will surpass the other. And that's the point where you want to ask yourself, do I still want to be doing this black line? And then you start investing the extra money that you have in things that don't require basically any of your time, brokerage accounts, real estate accounts, syndicates. And that also is an additive effect, right? And what's happening to me right now is that this black line, instead of being up here, my goal is to start decreasing this black line even. Well, you guys, I know you're thinking it. This old method to make money is just not our vibe. So this whole explanation, this is the journey that I took, why I created the So Money Business Accelerator. And I'm inviting you guys to apply. The So Money Business Accelerator is only in the So Money Society. All of the products I've ever produced have always been for members first, and a lot of times members only. And the reason why is because I truly believe that the society is a place where you get the support so that you can make those changes day to day. And that's why I've never made it into a high ticket coaching program. I want to help you find a way to make money without the hustle, where you have the time to enjoy your work and be present for the rest of your life. This is the solution that you've been looking for, is that rest of your life situation. So here's the thing. I don't want you to have to go and think, I'm starting a business, so now I need to buy Russell Brunson's work, and I have to buy Jenna Kutcher's work, and I have to figure out how to do a course. So I'm going to buy Amy Porterfield's course, and buying all the other separate programs and have to piece it all together on your own. Maybe you've already tried this and it hasn't really worked that well. And I can tell you that I don't want you to do this because I have done that. My husband is always, he'll see an offer and he'll literally call me up or come and see me and say, don't buy that offer. Because all I do is I buy courses all the time, like high ticket courses. And I support that from my medical career. That is the reason why She Has Money is not profitable, because I have bought so many courses and masters. And I just feel, please learn from me, you guys. Just let me tell you like what you need to know. So a little bit more about the Business Accelerator. This is a 4-month accelerated coaching program. It's designed to give you lasting results. It is an overview. 4 months is really not that long. But what it does is it teaches you this framework that I've already laid out for you. And after that, it's followed by the opportunity to stay in the So Money Society for as long as it takes. And in the society, normally when we're not running an actual program, Every month, we present a new masterclass about something more specific. Maybe one time after you go through, maybe one will be on specific AI resources that you can use and implement and how to actually get the tech to work, things like that. And I am happy to say that there's really no program out there designed to teach you how to go from little control over your time and your ability to make money to continuously increasing your cash flow and your financial network while actually enjoying the ride. And I focused my story for you on my employment position, but I have applied this and I continuously apply it. I'm applying it right now to certain aspects of my business and to even certain aspects of how I invest things. And you guys, I'm so proud to tell you that this week I hired my first VA. And you guys, like, I cannot tell you, like, when I remember the guy was like pitching to me to buy 6 months worth of it or whatever. And I could tell that he was like getting ready to tell me how much it was going to cost. And he dropped the bomb on me. And I was like literally so relieved. I was probably his best client ever. Like, I was like, yes, please sign me up. That is so worth it. So it's like a continual process for sure. What we do is we combine high-level weekly life and business coaching with community support and a step-by-step course roadmap for you to learn over the first 4 months, designed to establish, grow, and diversify your income streams with business and investment vehicles that you're passionate about and fulfilled by. And you're the perfect fit if you need to find a way to create more time and money. You could be a high-income earner on the edge of burnout, but whose income will drop if you work less. Or you might be a business owner who's just working too hard and afraid to delegate to a team because you feel like you can't figure out how to afford that. This is what people are saying in the society right now. People really love the content. And I think that the coaching is really very helpful for people because a lot of women, even though I feel like it's becoming very popular, a lot of women haven't really gotten great coaching. And I am almost certified at the life coach school, and I've was coaching before that. And I feel like my decision to buy another course through the life coach school actually was very useful and helpful. And I think Melinda and other people in the society would be able to tell you the same. And lastly, what the video that I will send you with the follow-up email will show you is that people just love being in the society. Tyler, you joined this morning, you're like, I just woke up. And this is when we usually have the society meetings live, is Saturdays at 8 a.m. And we show up, like sometimes I look like I really just pulled out of bed. And it's a time for us to just set up our weekends before everything starts happening and just be for a minute, talk about what's going on and reset and get ready for the next week. So why would you apply now? You guys, I'm super excited about this part. First of all, we only allow a certain number of women into the society to begin the roadmap together as a cohort. And we only allow a certain number of women at a time, because I just don't want to get completely, battled with a million new people who don't know what's going on and who don't know me or anyone else in the society. So we do limit the amount of women who come in at one time. And we base it on when your application is received. I actually didn't used to have applications, but I found that by using applications, it really allows women who are actually serious about what we're talking about and who actually really feel like they need the help and can contribute to come into the society. So it really is a society. And the thing is that right now, this is the only time that the So Money Business Accelerator is going to be for free inside the society. So instead of me pitching you like a $2,000 or a $3,500 course, I'm pitching it to you for free. Like, all you need to do is join the society. And like I said, the society is very reasonable. It's $100 a month. And if you do an annual membership, then you get a discount on that as well. And so I'm inviting you guys to apply. I think that it is literally the best thing I've ever produced in my life, except for my twins. And I'm so proud of it, and it's still very young. So we're only growing and going forward and moving up. So if you are interested, this is the code and the website to apply. The application form is very short. I think it's like less than 10 questions, some of which are like, what's your name? And if you don't want to apply, of course, you don't have to. Just continue to follow me, and maybe you'll want to apply sometime in the future. And if you do apply, you can always decide that you don't want to join. I don't take any payment from you or anything like that until you get accepted, and then we move from there. And that's all I have to say. If anybody would like to unmute themselves and say anything, or wow, I am 9 o'clock on the dot. If you guys want to start your weekends, that is totally cool. If anybody wants to say anything or wants specific coaching or ask any questions, now is a great time.
I just love it. Awesome.
Yeah, I loved it too. And I just wanted to say, as being a member currently, yeah, it's a judgment-free zone. Like you were saying, we wake up at 8 a.m. and sometimes we're like rolling out of bed. I never come to the society meetings like worried about how I look, because I know that it's a judgment-free zone. Sometimes like it's been a really rough week and I just feel like I'm just placing all my shit on the table and being like, this is where I'm at. And we sort through it, and I get coaching from Johanna, and I always end up feeling better after the meetings.
Love it.
Thank you. I feel the same way, and I run the meetings. If no one else has anything to say, I'll let you ladies go and start your weekends, and I will send you the replay and the extra YouTube video I was talking about that just shows you a little bit more of the vibe of how the society meetings are run. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me anytime.